at the southern border. Of the 2+ million people who come across illegally each year, 85% or more get paroled into the United States. That means they get a bus ticket to the city of their choice. They get a work permit to be here in America and are told to show up in a couple of years for a court date. President Biden can change the rules about parole tomorrow and send all of the people we see back to Mexico to wait for their asylum hearings. By definition, a lot fewer people would come. We learned the reality on the border when we were down there. The more people who come over and get released with a bus ticket or a plane ticket to the city of their choice and then call back to their friends and say, hey, I made it, the more and more people who come. That explains why the number of crossings under President Biden are many multiples of those under President Trump, and expected to only continue to increase. The New York Times today issued a warning to Democrats pressuring the Biden administration to keep parole. Quote, the Democratic Party increasingly reflects the views of socially liberal professionals on immigration. These affluent, highly educated voters tend to favor more open policies, while working-class voters prefer less immigration. But it's not just a working-class issue. December 2023 poll shows 79% of registered voters want more Border Patrol agents. In other words, to stop more people from coming. 67% want to deport illegal immigrants already here. 58% want to use the military to stop illegal immigration. With us now, Director of Data Science, Decision Desk HQ, Scott Tranter, Democratic strategist Kurt Bardella. Gentlemen, good to see you. Scott, and we saw that, right? 27% of Americans identify as Republican. 58% want to use the military. More than 2/3 want to deport people who are already here. That surprised me. What has the border become a proxy for?
It's basically become a proxy for everything from economic issues. That's what we hear when we look at the results in Texas and Arizona and California. It becomes a proxy for social issues. That's what you look at when you see the people, the mayors of New York and Chicago. And it has become a partisan issue. By and large, Democrats promote what they call comprehensive immigration reform, and Republicans want something more concrete, whether it be a wall or troops on the border.
Like, we think about what the deal right now on Capitol Hill is. That, look, the big four, everybody was at the White House for negotiations here. Okay, so the deal basically $61 billion for Ukraine, $14.2 billion for Israel, $14 billion for border security, $1.2 billion to combat fentanyl, all things that people want, and to end parole. And what I can't figure out, Kurt, is that it seems kind of obvious, right? If you want people to stop coming across, you've got to stop letting people out into the United States. All the more, 1,000 more Border Patrol agents doesn't do any good if you're just going to catch people and release them. How did we get, forget deporting everybody, how did we get that letting everybody into the United States is so sacred among progressives?
Well, I think that progressives are a victim of their own left flank, kind of promoting this idea that, well, we should welcome everybody in the world, right? We are all a nation of immigrants. You hear that catchphrase a lot, I think, from the left. They are horribly out of step where I think most Americans are right now on this, especially when we're seeing now in cities like New York. It used to be, well, it's a border issue. It only affects people on the border. The rest of the United States doesn't really care because they're not on the border. But now that we're seeing migrants get bussed over to Chicago, to New York, to cities, to metropolitans, they're like, wait a second. This isn't working for us. This is a problem. We do not like this. And the more that keeps happening, the more we're seeing Democrats just not adapt to the reality that people are seeing every day in their backyards. It's not just like in California where we're from here. They are now seeing it in their streets. They're seeing it in their workplaces. They're seeing it in their hospitals. They're seeing it in their schools. Democrats need to wake up here because this is an issue that could cost them dearly in November if they don't adapt.
All right, Congressman Pete Aguilar, Democrat, on this. Take a listen.
We're not going to fix this by building walls. We're going to fix this through broader use of technology, manpower, immigration, judges, humanitarian assistance, aid to local communities who are dealing with the frontline impacts. Unfortunately, as you've heard recently, Speaker Johnson doesn't believe in anything comprehensive when it comes to the border immigration.
Look, politicians are known to spin, but that's just disingenuous because you can have all the Border Patrol agents you want, Scott, and if you don't say once we catch people we're going to deport them, we're just going to release them, it doesn't matter. This is the question. Are swing voters buying the concept that Republicans are holding up immigration reform?
So it depends on how it's framed. I think by and large, swing voters want a solution. You know, Republicans want to be specific about either, you know, military and the border walls, whatever it is. Swing voters just want to stop talking about this, which is why I think it's interesting. You look at what Mitch McConnell's been saying to the conference. You look at what the Democrats want. Speaker Johnson obviously is against it. You know, by and large, swing voters don't want to talk about this issue anymore, which is why it's their #1 issue.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.